Hey, Gina here with Tarot in Time from Kent, Connecticut, and now reaching you virtually everywhere. I am here today to give you a tarot and astrology reading for the month of October. Now, I know everybody's really excited that we're going into Halloween season. Personally, for myself, I did not grow up celebrating Halloween. I grew up, you've heard me talk before about growing up as a Jehovah's Witness till I was in about age 15. And so I don't have any of those traditions. Halloween was actually something that was very scary to me and was portrayed that way. So it's a little bit hard for me to shake that mentality around it sometimes. But what I do get really excited about is Scorpio season. So interesting how I picked retail to work in, where I'm faced with all the holidays that I never celebrated and forming a new relationship with them. So Scorpio season, personally, I have a lot of planets in Scorpio, so I feel very activated during this season. But for most of the month of October, the sun will be in the sign of Libra. It won't be until later in the month that it goes into Scorpio. So let's talk about all the possibilities for this month of October, things to look out for, strengths and weaknesses. So I'm going to start off with the general astrology report. It's going to be broken down week by week, and I will cut this video into segments so you'll get reminders each week because I know it's a lot of information, okay? And then we'll go into a tarot reading. I have picked a fun Halloween deck to work with. And so let's get started. Let's see what we need to talk about. So we know that we're ending the month with the planet Venus going into the sign of Libra. So Venus rules the sign Libra, so it functions very well there. And so we want to think about how we can love ourselves more, how we can take care of ourselves more, how we can put ourselves first in a healthy way, right? So then we know that Mercury's been in retrograde. So Mercury, the planet of communication, it's going to come out of its retrograde on October 2nd. And I don't know about you, but I've got my calendar marked. I can't wait for Mercury to come out of retrograde. It's been an interesting ride because Mercury moved through, so there's a video on YouTube that you can listen to more about that, but basic summary, Mercury was moving along, came up to about, moved to September 2nd, and then it started to move backwards, okay? So the degrees that it moved backwards took us back to the date of August 20th. So when Mercury goes direct on October 2nd, it's basically coming back over the time period from August 20th forward. So this is a time to see what was going on, what were you feeling, what subjects were coming up. And you get a redo now. You get to reevaluate it, take a look at it again, see what's changed, what have you learned? Because there's a powerful piece of information that I bet you received. Mercury is a messenger. So what messages have you received during this Mercury retrograde? Really fun to jot things down, to take notes, to pay attention, and to ponder it, okay? So yes, October 2nd, it will go direct. But again, it's going to go back over that ground. So don't rush right into major purchases, major decisions. If you can give it a few more days, that would be great. But otherwise, at least wait until October 2nd when it does go direct. Okay, so week number 1. This is October 3rd through October 9th. Now, this is a full moon week. So the moon is going to be full in the sign of Aries. Now, we know that it's going to happen in the sign of Aries because every year, this full moon at this time, because the sun is in Libra, the full moon will always be across from it in its opposite sign. So Libra is about balance. It's about relationships. It rules justice. It's a Venus sign. Basically, you and everyone else. And then Aries is across from it. Aries is you. It's you as a child. It's you in this world. It's your purpose for coming here, your mission, okay? So the interesting balance between you, what you want, and others. And are you putting your wants, desires, your mission, really, that you came here to do, are you putting it first in a healthy way? That's what you want to look at. So let's talk about the week ahead, 10-3. So it's going to get spicy because you know it's a full moon week. And on top of that, it's a full moon in Aries. Now, Aries, I believe in Greek mythology, is associated with the god of war. Okay, so it can be aggressive. It can also be a power source pushing forward, bringing change, bringing new ideas. Now, Aries is associated with the term I am. So I am becoming the best version of me is one way that I like to think of this Aries full moon. So Monday the 3rd, the moon will be in Capricorn. You're going to be able to get things done. So there's also a lot of sexy energy available. You want to celebrate the end of Mercury retrograde. Congratulate yourself. You have gotten through this. A little relief. Also some other planets, because we've had a lot of planets in retrograde. So the idea of them moving backwards in degrees. So now a lot of them are going to start to go direct. So things will start moving a little bit easier. Okay, so celebrate the end of Mercury retrograde on Monday. Give yourself a little credit for what you've accomplished and have fun with it. So the Capricorn moon on Tuesday is going to be conjunct Pluto. Pluto is the planet that rules Scorpio. Pluto likes change. It wants to change your life for the better. So it also rules sex and deep emotion. So there is an opportunity to utilize that energy in that way. So expect the unexpected, because by Tuesday evening, the moon will move into Aquarius. So accept a last minute invitation or extend an invitation to someone. If you get invited to a work event, go to it, because you never know who you're going to meet and the opportunity to have a fabulous time, okay? I hope by now that you'll have your moon water out. If you don't know about moon water, there is a video on YouTube. You can learn about it. It's basically the act of putting water outside, covered or in a windowsill, to get charged up by this full moon. Okay, so get your water out by I would say by Wednesday. So the adventure continues on Wednesday. The moon is going to be in Aquarius, so you might have a lot of bright ideas. Please don't overwork. Please just have fun with the energy of ideas, writing them down. Thursday, we're going to have the moon in Pisces. It's going to move into Pisces a little bit after breakfast. It's going to be trine Mars. So Mars likes to take action on things, right? Mars is the planet that rules Aries. So it's a great time because it's a great time to work on art projects. It's a great time to be creative. Mars wants to take action. The moon's in Pisces. Now, Pisces, yeah, you can't always see things clearly when the moon's in Pisces. You may feel very emotional, but what a great time to use that emotion healthy and create art, okay? So I wrote on our week ahead report, Pisces, my old friend, I can't always understand you, but you sure are fun, okay? So that would be Thursday the 10th. Friday the 7th. The Pisces moon is going to be conjunct together with Neptune, the planet that rules Pisces. So we're going to have a lot of Pisces energy. Not a great time to be making major decisions because things aren't that clear, right? We're still coming down off the Mercury retrograde. But keep taking baby steps forward. And I wrote on this report, speaking of babies love naps. And Pisces needs a lot of rest. So try to get rest while the moon's in Pisces, even if you're power napping. Now, we're going to move into the full Aries moon weekend. So I wrote, shout out your goals. The planet Pluto will go direct over the weekend. And I wrote, remember, you broke up with your ex for a reason. Please don't call them. Don't go back to that, because there's a little bit of that old nostalgic energy floating around. And then there's some Pluto activity that can be very sensual. And then you've got Pisces that can be sometimes a little delusional. So remember the reason you broke up with them in the first place. So take it easy this week, because Aries, it can be feisty, but it can also be fun, right? Let's not try to push too hard. We've already got a lot of Mars energy going on in general. The sun is going to be close to Venus all week. So the sun in a sign of Venus, Libra, close to Venus. So there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity for love. There's an opportunity for relationship. There's an opportunity for beauty. Let's just remember that we're not quite seeing things clearly all the way. So enjoy it and then see how things show themselves later. So let's go into week 2. And week 2 is the 10th through the 16th. We have a lot of air energy going on this month. There's a lot of grand air trines, it's called. Three planets in air signs. There's actually 4. So we have in the grand air trine or triangle, we have Saturn at 18 degrees Aquarius, Mars at 23 degrees Gemini, and the Sun and Venus both in Libra signs. Sun at 18 degrees, Venus at 15 degrees. This makes a trine, a positive aspect. So there's a lot of air energy. There's a lot of communication. There's a lot of good thoughts. This is a great time to be writing things down, planning, getting thoughts on paper. This is also good travel because it's air energy, kind of goes back to Mercury ruling roadways, okay? So this week, things are still intense from the full moon. Look for healthy compromises, please. You can get what you want, but there's some compromising involved. Now, Tuesday the 11th, the moon will be in Taurus. Overthinking will come easy with all of this air energy. So give yourself a break, try to slow down, catch yourself before you're overstimulated, okay? Write your ideas down and don't flap your mouth. That's your advice for Tuesday. Now with Wednesday, with the moon in Taurus, there's some Saturn energy involved. Pay your bills, get your bills paid, do all the responsible things you need to do, and then reward yourself with a really lovely meal because Taurus loves a good meal, okay? Thursday the 13th, don't believe everything you hear. I wrote on here, my crystal ball thinks that they are full of shit, okay? That was a t-shirt that we just got in at the store in Kent. We got some great Halloween t-shirts, and one of them says that. But there can be a lot of fluff because there's a lot of air. So there's a lot of conversation, there's a lot of energy bouncing around, but it doesn't mean that it's all gonna come through, okay? So don't believe everything that you're told. Friday the 14th, everyone's got their opinion. Make sure you're thinking for yourself. Things are gonna be busy, busy, busy. The weekend, on Saturday, the moon will be in Gemini, and then by Sunday, the moon will move into Cancer. So enjoy the simple pleasures, enjoy your local community, stay comfy. Cancers love to be comfy. Maybe it's a good time to pull out some of your old blankets for winter time and get your bed made up really wonderful, because that's something that Cancers are known for enjoying. Donate to the food bank because Cancers usually like to feed people, and we know that there's certainly a lot of people that could use our help. Okay, so very, very much air energy this week coming down off the full moon. Don't get into arguments, just don't. Or write in your diary, keep it to yourself. Write it out and save it for later, okay? So let's move into week 3. And week 3, yeah, I have a lot of notes here. Week 3, we're October 17th through 23rd. So Mercury's going to move back into the sign of Libra. So it's been like going back and forth there with the retrograde. So what have you learned since 8/20, August 20th, right? Because that's the time period that we're crossing over again. Are you advocating for yourself? Are you making good decisions for yourself in a healthy way? Okay. So October 17th through 23rd, we still have a lot of that air energy going on, that grand trine, okay? Trines are great. There's a lot of thought that use the ideas, write them down, get ready. Take advantage of the mental energy that's in the air, okay? On the 17th, the moon will still be in Cancer. So if you made up your bed beautiful last week, that was one of the recommendations. Spend a few extra minutes in that bed, especially if you can spend it with someone you love. Even if it's just a few extra minutes, just savor that on Monday. Now on Tuesday the 18th, I wrote on the report, luck is in the air. The Leo moon is going to be trine Jupiter. So Jupiter, when Jupiter's involved, it makes everything bigger, okay? And when the moon's in Leo, Leo knows about healthy selfish. So work on that and let that expand larger in your life. Tell someone you love them. Take a chance. Luck is in the air. Buy a lottery ticket, okay? On Wednesday the 19th, things might be a little bit more tense on Wednesday. Be open to looking at things from a different point of view. You've got Leo moon on one side and you've got opposite Saturn. So Leo likes fun, it likes adventure, it likes love affairs, it likes the stage, it likes attention, it likes to express itself. And Saturn likes the rules. So there's almost this compromise that needs to come along. So maybe look at things from a little bit of a different view, see if you're sticking to your responsibilities, and then celebrating yourself, finding that balance, okay? Now, Thursday the 20th, I said if you use your words correctly, you might just get lucky. There's a lot of luck going on, and there's a lot of air going on. Saturn's going to go direct. It's been retrograde since June. So this is going to be something else to lighten things up, okay? We've been through the Saturn retrograde, kind of looking at our schedule, looking at our habits, looking at our timelines, looking at the rules that we hold ourselves to. Now we can start moving forward with our changes. So Friday, pay attention to details. You might just get what you want. The moon will be in Virgo, and Virgo loves details. So for the weekend of 10/22 and 10/23, it's our last weekend of Libra season, of the sun being in Libra, because that sun is going to move into Scorpio on the 23rd, Sunday, 6:36 a.m. Scorpio season is here. So I wrote down gentle walks. There's kind of this gentle energy that I felt for the weekend. Gentle yoga, slow walks, healthy food, and sex is just as important as sleep. I heard that from a sex therapist on Facebook recently. It's just as important as sleep. It's part of our health and wellness. So it's an interesting way to look at it. Venus is also going to move into the sign of Scorpio. So there's going to be a lot of Scorpio energy. Now, why do I get so excited about Scorpio season? Well, yes, I have a lot of planets in Scorpio myself. Even though I'm a Sagittarius sun, I consider myself an honorary Scorpio. I have Mercury, Mars, and Uranus in Scorpio. Scorpio is intense, right? It's intense feeling. It's deep emotion. Pretty soon Mercury is going to join us in Scorpio too. So there's not going to be any shallow conversation, or it's not going to be pleasing to you. Venus in Scorpio wants you to take a look at your shadow side, to love all of yourself. Someone recently recommended to me a book called No Bad Parts, Loving All the Parts. So are you willing to love your whole self? Venus to Scorpio on the 23rd. So we also have, like I said, the sun entering Scorpio. It's time to face our fears. Scorpio rules the other side. Scorpio rules our ancestors. The veil is thin, as it's said, during this time of the year. There's a lot of South Node activity, which is the cup that holds everything that ever happened to you. So whether you look at yourself having past lives or just earlier in this life, there's experiences that you are ready to transform. You are ready to let the old you die off and the new you be reborn. So we're going to move into a new moon in Scorpio, and that is our next week. So let's talk about the week of October 24th through October 30th. And so not only do we have the new moon happening, but we also have a solar eclipse. So that's happening on the 25th. But let's start with the 24th. So change is the word, Scorpio season. What do you want? It's a new moon in Scorpio. So this is a really good time to ask for what you want. Write down your wishes. Get your moon water out. Maybe put your wishes underneath your jug of water. Let it infuse. I said to write down 6 wishes because we're ending a 6-year in numerology, moving forward. So on Tuesday, I would get your moon water out a little bit earlier if you could, so that maybe on Saturday or Sunday. And then, so on Tuesday, when the new moon and the solar eclipse happen, you've had your water building up to that. The sun, the moon, and Venus are going to be in the sign of Scorpio. The new moon is going to be square Pluto. And we're going to have a solar eclipse at the same time, which is said to bring us something. So what do we want it to bring us? Ask for it. Place your order. And there's a lot of things about how we show up in the world, who we truly are, how we love, and it has a lot to do with our relationships, okay? So very, very intense Tuesday the 25th. Envision yourself being reborn, really. The 26th, your old ways no longer serve you. Forgive yourself and move on. And this can happen like this, the moving on, because the 4 planets in Scorpio are opposite Uranus, that lightning bolt of change, that divine insight energy. So this doesn't have to be like a long drawn out process. This can be fast. Now on Thursday the 27th, the moon will move into Sagittarius. It's going to be making a lot of trines, positive aspects. Lucky kind of day. I kind of have a little star on the 27th as a very lucky day. So choose how you spend it. Sagittarius loves an adventure. So 10/28 Friday, get out and about. Sagittarius moon's going to be opposite Mars. Mars wants to do stuff, right? Wants to take action. Sagittarius just wants to go have fun. So get out and about. Maybe if you're invited to a party, go have a good time. For some reason, I wrote visit an old haunted house. I think there was something Saturn Capricorn going on that I think of haunted houses. So if you get a chance to go do that on Friday, great time to do it. But just avoid arguments. You do not want to get into it with people with Mars energy there. Okay. Now for the weekend, the moon is going to be in Capricorn and it's going to be conjunct Pluto. So we got more Scorpio, Pluto. So I wrote time to switch up your Halloween traditions, ? Have you been doing the same thing every year? This is a great time to make some changes to that. Now, what else? We have Mars retrograde beginning on I wrote January. I have my dates very mixed up. 10/23, October. So tempers can run high because Mars can get spicy, right? And can be pushing and pushing. Now we know because of this retrograde, the Mars usually stays in a sign I think it's 6 weeks, maybe 7 weeks. But for some reason, because of the retrograde, it's going to be in the sign of Gemini for 7 months. So yes, all of us Geminis are really going to get pushed there, right? It's a great time to be writing. It's a great time to be taking action on our communication. So tempers can run high. Please keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind, especially as we go into Halloween. Okay. So, I talked about Mercury going into Scorpio on the 29th. No shallow conversations here. Mercury in Scorpio is considered a psychic placement, okay? Because Mercury is the communication sign. Scorpio is the other side. The veil is thin. Pay attention to your dreams. If there's someone that you want to connect with on the other side, keep a picture of them with you. Keep it in your pocket. Keep it in your purse. Keep it nearby. This is your time. I was looking at it as it's even it's always this time of year that it's the veil's thin, but the way I saw the positioning with the South Node, Venus, Sun, and Mercury, I saw it really extra this year, and especially with women or people we've been in relationship with, and there is some deep conversation that can happen that can help healing. Okay, so maybe you just write that person a letter in your journal before you go to bed and see what dreams come through for you. Okay, now Halloween, the moon is going to be in Aquarius. Now Aquarius rules large groups of people. It's ruled by the planet Saturn, it used to be by Saturn until I guess Uranus was discovered, and now it's considered ruled by Uranus. Uranus is unpredictable. Okay, and these times lately, the way our world is, just be careful which crowds you choose to be in. That's the way I'm seeing it. I try to look at things very optimistically, but it really stood out to me because the moon is going to be conjunct Pluto, and Pluto rules Scorpio, and I just feel like it's going to be a big Halloween. There's going to be lots of people, right? A lot of people didn't go out and do everything as normal through COVID. The moon's going to be in Aquarius, so large groups of people, and it can be intense and things can happen quickly. So just stay safe, stay in smaller groups, maybe choose smaller areas to go in. Don't push, because Aquarius moon is going to be square Venus and Mercury. So don't push to make things happen. Follow your feelings, your guidance, where you feel drawn to go to, okay? So that is what I have for you for this big month of October. Like I said, I'll be following this up with post and video clips. So you will get this information kind of given to you back in smaller portions. Okay, so let's look at the piles that we have here. I chose this Halloween tarot. I got this one out. And I'm using it for picking a pile. I'm using some heavy hitter decks here. Let me see what I've got over here. I've got a few. I got the Tattoo Tarot, wants to work with us today. The Relative Tarot, and I use my pendulum to choose decks. These wanted to be here. The Halloween and the Black Cats. So we got a lot of Halloween themes, okay? So for pile number 1, I'm using this beautiful Empress card from the Halloween Tarot. And why does she remind me of Sherry Moon Zombie, right? New Frankenstein movie, right? Okay, so that is pile number 1. Pile number 2, we have the High Priestess, this lovely version of the High Priestess. And pile number 3, we have the Tower, and check out that haunted house. This is an Aquarius card, and we know the moon's going to be in Aquarius on Halloween. Okay, so go ahead, whichever pile jumped out to you first, that is your pile. And let's go ahead and do our tarot reading for the month of October. Okay, pile number 1, this lovely Empress card here from the Halloween Tarot. Okay, let's see what you need to know this month of October. We are going to do a couple different things here. We're starting off with a spread here about what's important for you to know. Then we'll jump into week by week. I have not looked at any of these cards yet. I chose the decks with my pendulum. Let's see what you need to know. You're starting off, this is from the Relative Oracle. So the first card coming up here is addiction. Interesting that I saw a lot of Pisces going on this month, and then at some points Pisces was, the moon in Pisces was very close to Neptune, which almost makes it more Pisces. So Pisces rules drugs and alcohol, okay? So this is the first card coming out, asking us to question addiction. Now, addiction isn't just the bottle of booze he's holding, right? So the Empress is Taurus energy. Taurus definitely has to do with good meals, finer things, dessert, and there's a heck of a lot of candy going on this month. So addiction can be sugar too, okay? First thing that wanted to come out. Let's see what's going on in the heart of the matter. We have the Knight of Pentacles here from the Relative Tarot deck. So he is all dressed up in uniform. He's holding a pentacle here. We know Pentacles is slow moving. It looks like something or someone is arriving finally. Let's see what's going on. Supporting the heart of the matter. We have the Chariot card here from the Tattoo Tarot. And interesting, I always thought that these looked like very phallic symboled buildings to me in the background. I don't know, maybe it's just me. And I was saying something is arriving, and here is this gentleman. We had 2 gentlemen arriving here. The Chariot is about moving forward, and so moves much faster than this Pentacle energy. Let's see what the foundation card here in the reading is. We have the 3 of Wands. Looks like an adventure. Okay, coming in at the bottom here, all these options. It looks like, I mean, if you're single, it definitely looks like you have a lot of suitors. It looks like there's a lot of people showing up for you. There's a lot of options. You got to get clear what you want and not get lost in this cloud of being addicted. Now, addiction can be also the same kind of person, the same kind of personality traits, right? And we know Scorpio season has a lot to do with breaking down those old ways, okay? You're ready to move forward. This is not a time for you to get back together with your ex in any way. Behind the scenes, another oracle, thin ice. Okay, but she does have wings. There's thin ice going on back there with the addiction card next to it. You have the Tower. This is from the Black Cats. It's almost like all exits, like exit now. Okay. Moving into your future position, we have the lovely High Priestess. Now, she is pretty much, she's alone. She's got a bird with her. It's a 2 card. It's a relationship card, right? It's a High Priestess. It's a Cancer energy. It's ruled by the moon. It's divine feminine energy. Interesting how it looks like there's like a tornado in the distance here. And she's just observing it. So I'm seeing definitely like, I see something going on with the relationship here. It looks like it's love relationship, but it may differ for you, the listener, what kind of relationship it is. But it's definitely like people are showing up. They're like in your face, kind of. You're wanted. I see that definitely like there's a wanted energy. Starting off with the Empress up here in a position of power, of beauty. And there's something here about like, no, you do not need to watch. I feel like you have been watching, and I'm using the word shit a lot in this reading. You've been watching the shit show for way too long. And now you're not, it's almost like you're watching it from a distance now. You're not even going to get involved in it anymore. You've grown, you've learned, you've seen. Here's the Page of Pentacles. And she looks like she's kind of pondering, right? It's young energy. I just really feel like there's something here, like an old love is going to come back, your ex is going to come back, or an old friend. Something that's like, hey, look, maybe it's different now, but you know what? It's not. It's not different. It might appear different. It might look different, but everything's trying to tell you that you are better off observing, watching. And interesting with all that grand air trines going on, this is like a big motion of air. Just watch it. Just watch it and ponder it and see what's happening. Okay, I'm going to roll some dice here and see what else we've got. South Node. Oh, yep, South Node, Cancer, second house. Interesting. South Node, the cup that holds everything that ever happened to you. It has to do with past stuff, past lives, past people, past relationships. You got a 2, which is a relationship number. And you got the sign of Cancer, which is what the High Priestess is ruled by, and also what the Chariot is ruled by. Okay, so you got to trust your feelings. Now you might get pulled in like nostalgic, like, oh, and oh, it was good at one time, but it has not changed. Okay, and you're better off going at it alone than to go back into this. Okay, so I hope that you know what that is. Let's see. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to put these cards to the side, and what I want to do, actually, we're going to leave them right here because I want to take a picture at the end for you so that you can see them all. So let me put them back here so we don't forget about these. Well, what I'm going to do is grab a couple more decks, and I want to just go week by week for you. So it looked like, I believe there's only 4 weeks in the month. We're going to call it 4 weeks. And we're going to pull 2 cards. We're going to pull 2 cards for each week, okay? We're going to see if there's any themes coming up here. And I will try to remember to take a picture at the end so you can see all of this stuff in more detail. Let's see what you need to know on the first week. So we're starting off the Empress again. Here she is in the Black Cats. and the Four of Cups. Okay, so there's a lot of tears being cried here. But this is what needs to happen. This is you just sitting in your power and maybe having a good cry. You know, there's a lot of Scorpio going on, and Scorpio definitely is a deep feeler. Okay. Now the second week we have the Ace of Cups. So it's things are looking up. Interesting that that's the cup that was handed to you. You can see there's 3 cups here, but there's a cup being handed to you here. And then the next week, here's that cup again. Okay. So, and the Ace of Cups can sometimes be, it's a cup of satisfaction. Now, I just keep getting that someone's going to keep trying to offer you something, trying to make you think that it's different. Here's the Two of Cups, which is a minor version of this Two of Water with the High Priestess. There's something there, relationship. It's almost like you might have to go and try it to believe me. Week 3, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. So she knows about value. And the Seven of Swords. Now, 7 of Swords, he's crossing over. He's leaving something behind. Now, he's leaving 2 swords behind and moving forward. There's a relationship here that needs to be left behind. There's the Queen of Wands. She's a fire queen. She likes freedom. And the Hermit. Okay, so they're all moving ahead at great speed. So you may need to look at this relationship and see what I'm talking about, but you're going to find that it has not changed. That's what I keep getting. All right, let me roll a little bit more here. Anything else? We've got 4th house, South Node again in the sign of Virgo. So South Node, Virgo, 4th house, which is telling me that stuff from the past coming up needs to be looked at with detail. And the 4th house isn't nurturing to you. That's Cancer's house. We've seen a repetition here with the sign Cancer. Cancer is the nurturer. Cancer is about our emotions that need to be dealt with, that need to be looked at, that need to be nurtured. And there's a lot of self-love going on here. So, yeah, take it from me. I just don't think that this relationship that's going to show itself is going to be in your best interest. But you may need to take another look at it to be able to understand what I'm saying and move on from it quickly. Okay, I'm going to pull, let's see, I'm going to use some of these charms. I'm actually going to drop them on this calendar over here for the month of October. And then we are going to do a few letters and see what names we can make. So over here, we have a car. We've got a lot of charms kind of consolidated more at the top of the chart, okay? So there's a music symbol, there's a rose, there's a whisk for baking, there's the moon. We know the moon rules the sign Cancer. There's a magic wand, and there's a purple heart. I just feel like there's going to be advanced, like almost like someone's going to pull out all the stops for you, like flowers, baked goods, candy, really trying to get past the wound that happened. Okay. On the 12th, I have the sign for hope over the 12th of October, but a lot of energy on the 14th. Okay. A lot. We've got 2 candlesticks, a dragonfly, a mermaid, the Mother Mary, a frying pan, and then on the 15th, we have a sailboat. So I do think that you will move on from this. This is kind of reminds me of this Hermit card. And so there's going to be a lot of emotion there, but just keep in mind what the original reading said. Now, the only other energy that we have is on the 27th. Interesting that it's another sailboat and a little boy. Okay, I think this is Morty, but yes. So remember that you're moving on from this immature behavior, and I think it all kind of goes back to this card here. So let's see what letters we have for you for this week, this month ahead. I've got the letter Z and a W. I've got the word goes, G-O-E-S, the word fee, goes free. Goes free. And what else? Do I have anything else? I have a D, an OO. All right, I don't think that's really a word. Can these do anything? All right, well, these might be some initials. I'm going to leave these here from you. Goes free, toe, DZIOE. All right, well, I'm just going to leave these here, see if they make any sense to you. Do you have the word die? Goes free. So we're talking about death as far as like the new you being born. And so it's the word die goes free. Toe, and I've got the word Oz too. Okay, I'll take a picture of that. You see what you can make out of this. This is going to be an intense month. There's going to be a lot of old things coming up for you that it's time to let those things go so you can go free, so you can move forward. Okay, so thank you for joining me, Pile 1. Have a fabulous month. Pile number 2. This beautiful High Priestess card, and the High Priestess is ruled by the moon, and it's associated with the sign Cancer. Okay, it has to do with our intuition, guiding us forward, honoring our feelings, moving forward. Okay, so starting off there, let's see what we've got going on this big month of October. So you're starting off with this oracle card from the Relative Tarot or Relative Oracle, and it's called Balancing Act. Okay, it feels very Libra-like to me. Libra's all about balance, and she's on a bottle of champagne with looks like cheerleader pom-poms in one hand and nothing in the other. Okay, so you've got this balancing act going on, and your first card, the High Priestess, was the number 2. And she's almost kind of balancing on the moon here. Let's see what else you need to know. Let's see what's going on in the heart of the matter. We have this interesting 7 of Wands. I always find this card really intriguing. It's pretty wild. I can't always make out what exactly is going on here. It looks like this lion has like this mask on. But you can see a lot of other masks down on the ground there. Interesting during Halloween with these masks. So we got the 7 of Wands as the heart position. Let's see what's supporting the heart of the matter. The Page of Wands. So more fire. Got this beautiful fox here. And so the Page of Wands is young energy of passion. This fox that's known for being kind of sly. So interesting 2 cards here. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. So let's see what else we've got going on. The foundation of this reading, we have the 10 of Pentacles. So 10 is the highest number in these minor arcanas. Pentacles is anything of value, all right? So we've got a lot of value going on here. There's like this stability energy here at the bottom. There's this balancing act at the top. Interesting how there's a woman there carrying the child in the background. The relationship between the man and the dog. So looks like you're trying to balance everything out. It looks like you're kind of fighting a lot of battles, and that you kind of have like almost like the sly energy of the fox that can kind of like, you can kind of, it feels Scorpio to me, even though it's Page of Wands, that can kind of see through what's really going on here. Behind the scenes, we have the Defense card. So this is the Relative Oracle deck, Defense. Interesting, because that's kind of what's happening here. He's kind of defending himself, the cat. So there's this defense energy. So maybe you feel like you're always fighting a battle. Maybe you feel like you're always trying to balance things. Maybe you're the breadwinner of the family. There's a lot going on here. Future position, we have behind the scenes, we have the Knight of Swords. air energy. Nights bring information. So there's information being delivered to you. And coming in next to the fox, where it may come in from, you may be surprised where you find out this information. Now, we know we have a grand air trine, a lot of air energy this month. And so this Knight of Swords is an air knight. Now in the future position, we have the High Priestess. So you got her twice. Two different versions. This is quite the version. And so we have this High Priestess energy, the relationship with yourself, with your power, with your feelings, with your deep feelings. Scorpio is the deepest of feelings. So you need to trust them. You gotta trust them. And the Chariot. Interesting that both the High Priestess and the Chariot are ruled by the moon. They're both associated with the sign of Cancer, okay? Now, these are coming up in the future position. Two major arcanas. She's moving through time and space, right? And this one, literal movement forward. Overcoming obstacles. Moving so fast that look how that cat has to hold on for dear life there. Okay? So there's a lot happening. You may feel that you're just balancing things. You may feel that you're just in defense mode, but something is shifting for you this month. Now, I'm going to pull a few more cards to try to understand what that is that's shifting for you this month. We've got the Two of Cups, the Five of Cups. What's shifting for you this month? And the Universe. Okay, interesting. Pile number one had a lot of High Priestess energy and a lot of Cancer moon energy, and so does this pile. The Two of Cups is considered, in my mind, I consider the Two of Cups a minor version of the High Priestess, which you've gotten twice so far. So there's something going on with relationships. There's something shifting there in your relationships. And the Five of Cups is kind of like the loss of some emotion, some things not working out over here with the Three Cups spilled. But there are some cups standing still, okay? And there's actually the Two of Cups are standing still. I've got the Universe card here. This isn't just the World card, this is the Universe. So there's something ending. The Universe, this is the last card of the major arcana. Something's ending, but it's ending successfully, and you're moving forward. So I just want to pull a couple more cards. What is that ending about? How are you moving forward? Here's the Knight of Pentacles. It's kind of looking at the bigger picture, knowing things take time, looking at what's ahead. And the Nine of Swords, kind of really taking a real look at yourself. The thoughts you're thinking. What's keeping you awake at night, right? This is a good season to be looking at those things. So you're ready. You're ready to start moving on from some of those things that are not serving you anymore. And I just want to pull a couple more. Specifically, what are those things that are not serving you anymore? And I'm going to use one of these oracles too. Specifically, what are those things that are not serving you anymore? Nine of Wands. It's like these cats put this cheese out for the mice and they're over there staring, watching. Nine of Wands. Now, did we have a Nine of Wands? No, but we did have a lot of fire. The Fool. And the Newlyweds card. So maybe you've been dating a lot. Maybe you've been trying to meet someone. Maybe you've been set up on dates. The Fool here is saying you got to live your life the way you want to. This is an Aquarian card. They do things differently. They do it the way they want to. There's a new story. And interesting that you got the Universe card, which is the last major arcana, but you also got the Fool, which is the first, okay? So there's something new coming in, especially when it comes to your ideas about relationships. Now, interesting, this Newlywed card feels a lot to me like this Two of Cups. This Two of Cups is a lot to me like the High Priestess. So if you have some ideas that maybe you're supposed to be married by now, that you're supposed to be doing things, you're supposed to be farther ahead than what you are, that's time for those ideas to die off and for these new way of living your true and highest self to be born. Okay, I'm gonna roll some dice. And I've got the North Node in the sign of Aries in the 5th house. So the North Node is about what you came here to do. Aries is about I am, the new you. What are you doing now? And we're coming up upon that Aries full moon this month. And the 5th house is Leo's house. It's the house of fun. It's the house of love affairs. It's the house of your healthy selfishness, okay? This is a time to stop thinking about the relationship as much as about the one about how you're going to get on with your life. And then the rest will just fall into place, okay? I'm going to, let's see, I want to work with some charms here and some letters for you. So I'm going to take these charms and drop it on the October calendar over here, and we will get some letters. Also, I forgot that I wanted to do a week by week spread for you. So we're going to leave all these here. You're going to have a lot of cards here, but I'm going to take a picture at the end for you. And we're going to look at the week by week breakdown for the month of September. Okay, so we're going to do 4 weeks. What you need to know each week coming up. Oh, that one definitely wants to come out. And we will use this one. All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Okay, so week number 1 for you. We have the 9 of Wands. I believe we had that. Did we have that? We had a 9 of Swords before. There's a lot of overstimulation, okay? There's a lot you're carrying. Intense first week. Along with the conflict card, okay? So keep this in mind. If you've been running these same conversations, these same arguments, this is ready to transform as we move into Scorpio season. Week 2, we have a 2 of Pentacles. It almost reminds me of this balancing act card. Okay, trying to find the balance and trying to be healthy and well through it. The stature card. Okay, are we staying in a relationship just because of the stature that it gives us? Week number 3, Knight of Swords. He showed up before in the background. Okay, this is Gemini energy, air energy, moving forward quickly. There's going to be a lot of information that's going to be received in the month of October with all that grand air trine energy. And we've got the oracle card, Reflection. Okay, so just trust that the information is going to come into you. She's in a very meditative state. Allow yourself to relax and the information to be given to you. And then our final week, as we head into Halloween, we have the 8 of Cups. Now the 8 of Cups is often when something's left behind. All those 8 of Cups, he's walking away from them. And you need to walk, just because it looks pretty and everyone thinks you should stay, it is your decision when you need to walk. Chivalry. Okay. There are people that will treat you with kindness. There are people, you are not stuck in this situation. Okay, that's what I'm getting from this. So look at what comes up this month. Look at the thoughts that come up. Look at the information that's given to you and make your decisions accordingly, okay? So over here on the calendar for the month of October, had a lot of things fall on the last week of September. A motorcycle, a journal, a guitar, a rainbow. Then on the 4th of September, I had this circle fall over the word me. Okay, so you want to get really focused on you, especially on the 4th. And we also have this little Mary energy. So really kind, compassionate, loving energy to yourself, especially on the 4th. On the 5th, we have a quartz crystal helping to clear some things out. On the 6th, you've got this little wolf coyote howling here, okay? So there may be some things that need to be spoken up about. On the 12th, we have another saint. Something to do there with maybe Mary again, I'm not quite sure. And the letter I over the 14th. So you've got the word me and the letter I. Okay, so this is definitely a time for you to really start thinking about what you want. You've got this elephant that showed up on the 28th, very lucky sign. A lot of times elephants are given as gifts when you move into a new space, symbol of luck and blessings. So this is about you and about your movement forward. And this beautiful piece from a necklace I used to have just looks dynamic, like it's all coming together and working together. And that showed up around the 29th, okay? And the letter A landed at the bottom. And we're gonna move that over into our letters here and see what we have. All right. I'm gonna take a picture of this so you'll be able to look at it too. I've got a lot of the letter E. I've got 5 E's, wow. And that could be the word me with 5 E's. Okay. I have the word saga, the word pub saga, ID, and some initials here, NDH, and I've also got the A. All right, so I'm going to take a picture. You can see what you can do with the letters. It's going to be an intense month of October, but you're going to come out the other side better than ever. So have a great month ahead. Pile number 3, we have this really fun tower card here in this haunted house. Looks like a wild Halloween. We know the moon's going to be in Aquarius for Halloween. Okay, let's see what you need to know this big month ahead of October. Working with a few different decks. I have the Relative Oracle in here too. So let's see what we've got. So we're starting off, these are just jumping out here. Starting off with the 5 of Swords. Now, we know Swords is air energy. We know we have a lot of grand air trine energy going on this month. There's a lot of mental stimulation. Now, 3 swords are kind of back here, right? And he's kind of dropped a sword along the way, 2 swords along the way. So some old ways of thinking. And I love how they're just things are just kind of melting. It feels very Dali, Salvador Dali-like. 5 is a number of change, and air is the mind. So there's a change of thought showing up here. Now the Tower is an air card. You're starting off with this 5 of Swords. And then we got this 9 of Wands that popped out too, showing the heart position. So it looks like there's a lot of stimulation going on. This is the Tattoo Tarot. So this is like the sketched part of the tattoo before the color. So, but it definitely looks like there's a lot of overstimulation. It's showing up in the heart position, okay? Let's see what's going on to support the heart. We have the Page of Cups here. A page is younger energy, cups is emotion, okay? So there's like kind of like, she almost looks like she's like, this fish is like talking to her. There's some fun being had here, which is definitely the opposite of this card. So there's a need for a little playfulness. I love her outfit. Maybe this is a great year for you to have a really fun Halloween outfit and to show up and break up some of this exhaustion, okay? Now, your foundation card for the month of October is the 8 of Pentacles. Very hard at work. You got to be careful about not overworking, but there's definitely, you're building something here. Okay, but the Page of Cups shows up to say, hey, don't forget to have fun, okay? All right, now behind the scenes, we have the 5 of Cups. There's a lot of emotion, right? There's a lot, maybe you've been grieving something. There's been a lot of sorrow in the background, part of the exhaustion. Here's the Vigor card. So it looks like even though there has been that, there's still some dynamic energy in the background. Interesting how Vigor comes in right next to this one. So remember all the things that are going well for you, how healthy and strong that your body is to get through hard times. Okay. Our future position, we have academic. Speaking of air energy, very smart. Time to be reading, studying, learning. Okay. And the Five of Swords. So we had the Five of Swords twice now. These are two different versions of it, okay? So there's something here about, like, you don't want to be battling with others. You don't want to be fighting. You don't want to get into it with everyone. It's easy to do. Remember, you left some of these swords behind. That was what the message, the first card that came out. Leave some of these conversations and arguments behind. It's like, almost like you're smarter than that. And so you got to choose not to fight the battle. That's how I'm seeing it. And if you have to fight it, then maybe you need to write it and examine it first before you get into it. Let me pick a few more cards here for some clarity on your future position and what you need to know right now. I have the Knight of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, High Priestess, she's made her way into every pile, the Hierophant, and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, great. So what this is telling me basically is you're smarter than this argument, okay? If you have to have it, then you need to write it and examine it and make sure that you're going to use the words the way that you want to, all right? But it's easy to get into it with people right now with a lot of Mars energy and the Aries full moon. This is the Knight of Cups, and it looks like Cupid's shooting an arrow. So I don't know if you're arguing with someone over relationships or fighting over someone. There's something about that lingering around here. You've got the Three of Pentacles, which is telling me to stay focused on your work and your masterpiece, okay, instead of this argument. And then I pulled these other cards to look a little bit farther down the road of what's coming up for you, okay? And you got three major arcanas, three really the meat of the reading, the real things that you need to learn. The High Priestess is about trusting your feelings, trusting your emotions. That it is your power, okay? This is also like a lot can be said unspoken. There's a lot of things that can be dealt with without having to hash into this fight. The Hierophant, which is card number 5, and you started off with the 5, right? This is 5. Hierophant is a Sagittarius card. It's your higher power. It's the bigger picture. Okay, she kind of reminds me of the High Priestess a little bit. It's a woman in this power. I feel like you're a woman that's fighting for your position or your status as not just the traditional role of a woman. That you're meeting a lot of, you're butting heads somewhere. You got to stay focused on your work. Some of these battles are not worth fighting. There's a bigger picture going on here for you. The Wheel of Fortune is here that wants you to surrender to the greatness of your life and move forward. Okay, this is a Sagittarius card. These are both Sagittarius, although the Hierophant is known more to be a fixed version of Sagittarius. Looking higher, looking upward. This is a card of a student and a teacher, the bigger picture. And the Wheel of Fortune is a card of movement, of travel, of expansion of your life, expansion of your view. Because in a way, this kind of almost looks like a mirror to me. Your view is going to expand, especially about yourself, okay? This is a pretty big month for you. Let me roll some dice. You got the Sun in Capricorn in the 11th house. So the Sun in Capricorn, this is like very Capricorn card here. So you're going to be seen for your work. 11th house is Aquarius's house. It's large groups of people. It was the first card we started off with was Aquarian. So There's things that can change quickly. Aquarius is like the lightning bolt of change, right? So there's big things coming for you work-wise. Let's not get into it with others. You have things that are coming in that can expand your life. There's relationships forming for you that can expand your life. Make peace with whatever it is that's irking you right now and move on. Maybe write that letter to yourself and burn it on the full moon, okay? Full moon bonfire. All right, so I'm gonna pull you some cards for week by week. We're gonna do 4 weeks here in the month of October. Kind of calling it 4 weeks here. All right, let's see what you need to know week by week. There's a couple decks here. I'll take some pictures of this at the end so you can see. And okay, let's see what we've got going on here. So week 1, oh, I got my little helper here, Lucy. Okay, so you have the 6 of Pentacles for week 1. It's almost like showing your goods, showing up. It's like she's a musician sharing her music. And along with the moon. Now, all of these piles have been very heavy moon energy between the High Priestess, the Chariot that showed up in a few piles, and now the moon itself, okay? Now, the moon rules the public, and I really see something here with you being seen for your work, okay? That's week 1. Week 2, we have this amazing Strength card. Wow. And the Wheel of Fortune again. Moving forward, being seen. Strength is ruled by the sun. It's pretty exciting. Week 3, justice, balance, beauty, Libra season, and the six of Cups. So you had a 6 of Pentacles before. We know 2022 is a 6 year, the year of the gift. I feel that it gets more intense as the year gets closer to the end. There's a lot of joy here and a lot of gifts, but there definitely needs to be some focus on your own needs and not just everyone else's, Libra. And the last week, which we have Halloween included, we've got the World card. Beautiful. One of my favorite cards. Being seen, being acknowledged. I think there's something big going on here with your work, of being seen. And the Fool. Aquarius. New journey. So this is the last major arcana here with the World, and the first major arcana, the Fool. So there's definitely some big changes coming in. Some things that you may have, maybe you want to get on the road. Maybe you wanted to, there's something you want to move forward with. There's a new adventure and it is forming, but don't waste your energy with the fight, okay? Because things are picking up speed for you. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull some charms, throw this onto the October calendar here, and some letters. See what names we can make, words, initials. Okay, so over here on the calendar, on the 5th, we have this quartz crystal surrounded by this circle. The circle really reminds me of the World card. It has that circle reference, and actually the wheel does too. You've got this circle and this quartz, and you've got a magic wand. So a lot going on the 5th. The 6th, you have this piece of labradorite, which is called the Stone of Magic, right? I think Native Americans thought the Aurora Borealis was caught in this stone. And you've got a little fortune cookie wish here. It says, life is either a daring adventure or nothing. That's on the 6th. On the 11th, you have a little soldier and a Mary from the Bible kind of reference here on the 11th. You've got for the Friday and the 14th and Saturday, the 15th, you got this Tree of Life with citrine, which is known to help promote financial gain. On the 20th, you've got this little, this is a symbol, Egyptian symbol, right, on the 20th. And you also, I thought I saw something else that had, maybe that was the last pile. Okay, I'll let that go. So we have the word soft on the 27th, soft, the softness. There's a lot of overworking energy here, so make sure that you're being soft and gentle to yourself. On the 29th, we have the number 3, okay, a foundation number. All right, let's see what we've got here for letters. I've got the word ripe, R-I-P-E. I've got, let's see what else we've got. I've got the word flirt, F-L-I-R-T. The word pend, P-E-N-D, like it's pending. And H-U-H, huh, or somebody's initials. Okay, so I'm going to take a picture of that so you can see that. Big month ahead, a lot of opportunity for growth for you, a lot of opportunity for new things to come in for you to complete something and start something new. You have to go easy that you're not overworking too much, but your work will be seen by others. There's a need for you to play. I think it might be important for you to have some kind of fun this month with like maybe your Halloween costume, something like that, okay? And knowing that things are gonna start moving forward for you. But if you get caught up in the drama and the fighting, it's gonna tap your energy. So let's pass on that, or let's write out the feelings instead, okay? So thank you for joining me. Have a great month ahead.